everyone, it's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a process video for you that is my version of the Scrap Room's Freaky Fast Formula Challenge. So this is a very, very fast process video, partly because it's sped up, but also because I don't have the photos printed. And I was trying to use embellishments from my stash, but I didn't want to do too many because there are a lot of photos on this page. There are 4 photos. And since I don't actually have the photos printed, I didn't want to be doing too much overlapping of the embellishments on top of the photos. So I tried to keep it very simple. Therefore, it's a very fast layout. So first I needed to cut all the paper pieces. It gives you directions on what to cut, and then you just pick a background piece of paper and figure out how to arrange those pieces on the paper. So I needed 4 pieces that were 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and those are actually going to be the mattings for where the photos are going to go. And then I needed one 1.5 by 7 3/4 piece, a 1.5 by 9 piece, and a 2 by 11 piece. And that's it. And then you just figure it all out from there. And I really like these because they can be good for using up scrap paper, which is kind of what I did here. The background is a 49 and market piece of paper, and then everything else that I cut was just scrap papers that I had previously used during this month, and I had enough of them to cut them down to the size that I needed. So essentially, I'm taking what are paper strips. There are 3 of them in 3 different sizes, and 2 of them I'm going to layer up on the bottom of this page, and then the other one is going to go up at the top. And they're coming in from the side. So the 2 on the bottom are coming in from the right hand side, and the one at the top is coming in from the left hand side. You could do it differently. I mean, I guess I could have layered up all 3 of them and done something like where they come in from the top and then put the photos kind of in a grid style next to that. I don't know. I guess I should go and see what the rest of the Scrap Room design team created with this design. They've got a blog. I'll try to remember to link it down below. But really, you just kind of do whatever works for you. And when I saw these 4 squares, I was like, well, of course I'm going to do the photos there. So I had some extra like Shutterfly cover sheets, I guess, is what you get when they send you the photos. And I just cut them to 4 by 4. That way there's a little bit of matting you can see from the pattern papers behind them. And I'm just going to washi tape those pieces down, those placeholders down, until I get the photos scrapbooked. And I decided I was going to use this layout to scrapbook photos from a polo game that my family went to 2 years ago, and I actually have more than 4 photos for that, but I'm pretty sure I can cut it down. I don't need to print all of the photos for it, and it'll be really nice to cut them to 4 by 4 because then I can edit them a little bit and get a little bit closer to the polo players on the field. We were sitting, right on the edge of the field. It was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Casual experience. This wasn't like a real polo fairgrounds. It was just something that our local community did, and I'm not sure if they still do it. But it's open to the public, and they've got some food trucks there, and it's just a very informal experience. But it was the first time that we'd ever done a polo game, and it was interesting to see, even though we didn't really know what was going on. And half the time, the horses and riders were far away from us, like at the other end of the field, and we didn't know if a goal had been scored or not. And then you have to be careful if you're walking around because the horses do poop on the field, so that's very interesting as well. But for the embellishments for these, I really wanted to just use what was out on my desk. So I had a bunch of American Crafts chipboard stickers, and they were sort of in black and white with a little bit of craft coloring, and I thought that would be perfect because there's some black and white in the pattern papers, the stripes that I'm using. So I'm trying to kind of layer them up a little bit next to the photos, and if the piece is going to be layered on top of the photo, I'm just cutting half of the backing away so that I can have it stuck down, but then the piece that's over the photo isn't stuck onto that yet. It still has backing behind it. So this is kind of a work in progress still. And once I get the photos printed, then I can go in and move things around and maybe even add a few more pieces. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much, but I am pleased with just the small embellishment clusters that I was able to create for these photos. I think if the paper strips hadn't been there, I probably would have added more embellishments, or I would want to add more embellishments because there would be more space, more white space to use up. But because I do have the paper strips going behind the photos, I don't want to cover those up too much because they have some really great patterns and colors in them. So I'm trying to be a little bit more minimal in terms of what I use. Now I do have to come up with a title, so you'll see that in a few minutes, but I'm just going to use some leftover letters from an American Crafts foam thickers sticker sheet. I'm also adding in a few enamel gems that were in my stash. They're sort of a silvery, I guess, so they go very well with the black and white scheme that I have going on here with the rest of the embellishments. And then there's the title. And really, this is going to be it. This was so easy. I mean, the hardest part is just measuring the papers and making sure you're cutting them in the right way. But then after that, you just figure out how you want to arrange everything. It really challenges you to get creative. I really like doing these challenges, and I should do them more often. And I think also if you share your work in the Scrap Room Facebook group, you're entered to win a prize. And I have won that prize several times in the past. And it's a gift card to their store. So then you can use that to buy some scrapbook stuff, which is always fun. So that's pretty much it. The close-up photos are going to follow. I hope you've been enjoying my February challenge where I do a process video 5 days a week for every week during this month. There's a playlist if you need to catch up, the February challenge playlist. And if you're enjoying this video and all the other videos, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to follow me on all my other social media channels so you can get more scrappy, crafty goodness. Bye.